Since August, when the NBS and the UNODC report came out to say that Nigerian police and the Nigerian judiciary are among the most corrupt in the country. About 400 billion naira Nigerians spend on bribery. The Nigeria police force is represented here on my show today. In fact, this is the first time I'm having the police on the program. And I have CSP JIMOH MOSHOOD, who is the first public relations officer, first headquarters here in Abuja. Welcome, Mr. MOSHOOD, and thanks for joining me.
Thank you for inviting us and for having me here this morning, and actually for telling the public that this is the first time you have a police officer being on the show, and to equally let the public know that we are concerned about security, because security is the bedrock of achieving enabling business environment, because if there's no security, nobody wants to put his money where there's no security. And that is why in the Constitution we had the lead agency in internal security to ensure that people can go about their lawful businesses, they can go about their lawful activities without hindrance, and to equally ensure that we prevent crime before they occur. And there are plans in place to ensure that those crimes cannot be prevented, actually promptly detected, to serve as deterrent to who will be criminal, because detection of crime most of the time help and aid you to get the perpetrator arrested and for the public to have more confidence. So when you do the policing properly and you have a good architecture in place that like we are implementing now, it's go a long way to ensure a very good atmosphere for business and for other human activities to thrive in the country.
Why do you think that Nigerians have a poor attitude to, why do Nigerians think poorly of the police? Because when you talk about the police in Nigeria, we don't have good image of the police at all. I understand that the police is trying to do rebranding right now. Some of you wear this one now, the blue against the black. When are you facing out the black against the black? Because not everyone has
No, there are multiple questions in what you have said, so I'll take them one after the other, maybe from the last one. We have a variety of uniforms, which this is one for office dress. The black is for operational dress, and equally you have...
Okay, so the black goes on the road?
Yes, for operational use. Okay. And then when you have it in ceremonial form equally, for ceremony, and it goes with other accoutrement for such ceremony, then you equally have other uniform for other specialized departments, like the police mobile for the PMF have their uniform, the counter-terrorism unit equally have their uniform design in that mode. You know, their beret is red, then that of PMF is green, the police mobile force. Then you have the special protection unit that wear blue beret. So we are different. So you wear the uniform that's for the department you belong to, and for the specific role and responsibility that's expected of you. Then equally when you go to the specialist area, like the workshops, those who provide logistic need and others in the city equally have their uniform. So to start with, we have been rebranding, and we want people to know that the Inspector General of Police, IGP Ibrahim Putu Idris, MNI, and make the public the centerpiece of his changing reform and agenda. Because when he came on board, he promised to reposition the force, which is being actualized now in such a way that the Nigerian police force will respect human rights, will ensure that we allow the rule of law to prevail, we shun corruption, and we make Nigeria safer.
Do you think
that
that has been?
Yes. It's been actualized. Where I'm going to is that to start from your opening remarks, the issue of Nigerian police being the corrupt organization, we've come out and debunked that, and equally make facts and figures available to the people. Because when you look at corruption index, it would be wrong for anybody to accuse the police force of corruption. Is a personality, it's not an institutional thing, and you can be anybody. Yes, they are human beings. Yes, that's where I'm going, because
let me allow you just continue.
So it's a personality. You can be anywhere and be corrupt, and the Nigerian police force spend a lot of resources on the force to dissuade the personnel of the force from being corrupt. But in an environment where you have endemic corruption, where people try to entice their personnel, and that is why they focus while they are in police colleges and police academy, is to ensure that we build up their mind to ensure that they don't come out and embrace corruption. Even in the position of the law, part of the law which we enforce is law concerning corruption. So when you become an officer and you try to exhibit some corrupt tendency, that is why we have mechanisms of check and balances in the force. We have the IGP escort. Outside that, we have other monitoring mechanisms for any officer that is accused of corruption. We don't say it doesn't happen. So many officers have been dismissed in the past, but it's not a generalized thing for anybody to come and say we are spending so amount of money on police, on judiciary. Well, the judiciary have the right to talk for themselves, and I believe they've done so. So on our own part, there are a lot of reform that the current Inspector General of Police is carrying out to ensure that we demystify people not wanting to come to us to report to us. But you know, it's a general feeling in the country where anybody say about the police, everybody believes it.
Is it a general feeling?
No.
Or it's clarity, or it's reality?
It's not the reality.
Let me now talk.
Okay.
Seriously. You know, I've listened to you, at least you've opened and all that. Is it that the police doesn't want to tell itself the truth? Tell yourself the truth, and perhaps Nigerians will also sympathize with you. Yep. That the police is not well thought of in the country. When you talk about policing, oh, a policeman, I'm not saying there are no fantastic or noble policemen amongst your force. Fantastic people, even those that have retired, that have not been corrupt. But when it comes to police, when you mention the police, the Nigerian mentality just corruption. And the NBS and the UNODC came out with their corruption survey, corruption perception survey in August. Is not just enough to say, oh, it's wrong and all of that. Is what Nigerians think.
And that's where we are coming from.
That's not what
you know,
Nigerians
you know, like I'm carrying on me. You see what I'm carrying.
Bail is free. We'll come to that.
Yes, this have been launched by the Present Inspector General of Police across the command. I represented him in Niger when it was being launched for the second time. We distributed this flyer and sticker to the people, not only having them pasted in police station and police divisions, for people to assist us further in the campaign, to paste it on conspicuous places, even on their vehicle, because we have the stickers, so that where you are stopped by anybody trying to ask you for something, you refer to the IG said this. That's to let you know that we are doing a lot. But what I'm saying is the issue of perception, which we are doing our best to correct, is that, you know, for an average Nigerian, hearsay is what somebody said.
Seriously, are you economical with the truth? I don't want you to be economical.
No.
I realize you're going to paint the image of the police. Fantastic, you're doing your job. Okay. But it's also my duty and responsibility to come to you to say, it's not hearsay. It is what has been experienced. People go to it happens every day.
You know, we have to use our personal experience when it comes to issue of corruption to assist us. If something has happened to you, promptly report. Like this bail is free. We have an email address there, which is bailisfree@gmail.com. We equally have numbers.
Have they been ongoing?
Yes, it has been ongoing. Yes. People have been calling.
Have people been punished?
Yes, people have been punished. And we have even made those punishments public for people to say, officers that are dismissed because they exhibit corrupt tendency or involved in corruption have been shown the way out of the force. But we want the public to help us more. Nigerian police officers majorly are not corrupt people. Virtually all the officers of the men, because we are trained on the need. Yes, we are not corrupt people.
I beg to disagree.
No. We are not. We are not corrupt people.
You may say that some are not corrupt.
No. Virtually all of us are not corrupt. But where...
Are you saying you've not had experience of a policeman extorting people from the road? Or we'll come to NSAS in a bit, or the SARS officers that have been taking our young people to their ATMs and taking cards to withdraw money?
I'm telling you that there are a lot of rhetorics. And that is the impression we are trying to correct. If it happens to you, report to us. We'll do something about it. But where you post something online, or you follow some certain people that have a different agenda, you are not helping the force. To help the force is to assist us to reform. How do we reform? We take the people as our dressing. Nigerians are good people. They are very fantastic people. If you do good, they appreciate you. If you do something that is not up to, they equally tell you, so that you know that you are going offline. And across the world, Nigerian police in the UN system today, we are the best police force in the world. Whether on issue of money, on the issue of corruption.
But of course,
I'm giving you an example.
Police index that came out in November did say that Nigeria police is the worst in the world.
No. They compare one.
That's the index. Among the four pillars,
Nigerian police.
The Nigerian police force failed in the four pillars. Capacity, process, legitimacy, and outcomes.
That's where I'm going. Capacity, process, legitimacy, outcome. there's no doubt that we have the legitimacy in enforcing our responsibility. People need to know what is the letter that has to do with with that report. That report, page 25 and 28, I believe, was saying when it comes to issue of capacity, the personnel of the force is less than what is desired. And I want to tell you as we speak that we have, if you compare UN standard, that's say 1 policeman to 400 people. We have 1 policeman to less than 600 people with the personnel of 370,000, about 370,000. Because on yearly basis, and you know the federal government of recent, graciously the president and commander-in-chief graciously approved the recruitment of 10,000 additional personnel, and that's take us further to reducing the level of around 1 policeman to less than 600 people. But what we are saying, and the IG has come up with a proposal which is with the government, and we believe the government is going to send back the approval very soon, of recruitment of 31,000 police personnel for up to 5 years, so that we can meet up the standard. The standard of the United Nations of 1 policeman to 400 people is actually a benchmark. Not to stop us from having 2 to 3 policemen to 400 people that make the job to happen. But it has to do with what are the strategy of crime prevention and control you are adopting. Is it the one that is personnel driven? Is it one that is modern equipment driven? Is it the one that is intelligent driven? So all these are what we are doing to get everything together to ensure that we are abreast of the situation, and we ensure we continue to control crime and prevent crime across the country.
Let's go to the End SARS campaign that has taken that has been in the social media and of course the media space for quite some time now, for like a week and some days. Nigerians have come up with their experiences of extortion, of extrajudicial killing in some cases, of harassment, of ill treatment with the police members, some members of the Nigerian police force. I do know that you've brought out that the IGP has come up with statements to say no, we are not, that's not the real picture,
this picture
and all of that, and we are trying to reorganize. But that is not enough. Will the Nigerian police force and will the IGP say that he's not aware of things that his boys are doing in the field? I've seen videos, people have even posted me videos, personal videos of their experiences with the SARS people, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. They are meant to combat kidnapping and robbery. But now in turn, it's like they are the ones that Nigerians are being afraid of robbing them.
No.
And perhaps killing in some cases.
No, I'll disagree with you on this. Completely
it's easy to disagree.
Yes, it's very easy, and back with fact and figures and evidence. You see, the responsibility of the SARS, you know, there's a reform in place. I would want to start by saying that we appreciate the concerns of the people that started the hashtag EndSARS, the patriotic concern of bringing that issue up, and want to let them know that what is in vogue now is reform SARS, which is the betterness for all of us. There's no doubt that SARS are doing fantastically well across the country, but there are infractions and there are accusations, there are equally allegations, which the Inspector General of Police have directed the escort of the force to investigate. We don't sweep any allegation against our personnel under the carpet. We investigate them and ensure that any law whatsoever that is not in the interest of the public is not a law. Any procedure, any directive you are giving that doesn't put public concern into issue is not the best, because we are quite mindful of equally the business environment that brought me here today to ensure that people can do their business in Nigeria with ease, without any problem, and they have a secure environment for doing that. So most of the things that were posted online are being investigated as we speak, and we are making accessibility possible. We've released
if you can see something that is rolling on now, how some members of the police, even if you're going to arrest someone, does that mean the person should be ill-treated?
No.
This one even happened in my presence. I was coming from the airport. Members of SARS just saw a guy and just started beating me. He looked one way. Come on, guys. We are not, Nigerians are not even your enemies.
We are not. We are all Nigerians. And these police personnel that you are seeing are equally Nigerians. And SARS are there to ensure that there's no robbery, to ensure that there's no kidnapping.
But the thing is that you have a right to search, isn't it?
Yes.
When you see me, you can search me, isn't it?
If I'm going to search you, it's going to be a woman police officer that will search you.
That's what I mean. Yep. But you will search me. If you don't see a gun, or you don't see a knife, or you search my car, there's no gun, there's no knife, aren't I free to go? Why tell me, there are threats that, take me to the ATM, I will arrest CSP?
No, that is not correct. I think we are partners in ensuring that we properly inform the public. And we
are you saying that things like that don't happen?
No. Let me explain. We have instances of complaint from people, but we have not gotten people should report to us of personnel of SARS taking them to ATM to withdraw money. It's quite helpful.
So who are the us? How do people that experience that report to you?
Yes, we are in the process of releasing the press release by the Inspector General of Police, the new directive, because SARS is being unified. I'll read the numbers once you permit me.
I think we have the numbers. You can put it on the screen.
Okay, they can put it on the screen for them. SARS is being unified now as federal SARS, and the Commissioner of Police has been appointed at the Force Headquarters level. So it's going to be an hierarchy of like what you have with the police mobile force, where you have the unit commander. At the state level, you are going to have a chief superintendent of police and superintendent of police as the commander of SARS in that department. Then they will be answerable to the Commissioner of Police in charge of SARS at the Force Headquarters level. Further, when the IGP came on board, there were training that was organized for SARS, Human Rights Organization, including the Red Cross International trained them. So that training is going to be repeated. The IGP directed the immediate training of the federal SARS. So this issue of having proliferation of SARS personnel is eradicated with this new directive. And it will go further for people to know that Human Rights Desk officers have been appointed for SARS across the Federation. Those officers will be answerable to the Commissioner of Police and not to the commander at the level of the state. And we want people to join us to allow this reform to take hold, and let them observe in the next 2-3 days the successes of the reform agenda. But we are concerned about people, because any organization like Nigerian Police Force that have to do with ensuring protection of life and property is subject to public opinion, no doubt. And we are taking the opinion of the public into consideration in coming up with action plans to eradicate all these illness that are being identified and they are being investigated. You know, a broad-based action plan will enable you to look around yourself and ensure that you do the best for the country. So we want people to key in with the reform SARS, and they'll see betterment from the service being rendered.
If we're talking about reforms now, because what the IG said, reorganization, isn't it? Not just even for SARS, but the police force, because this is vital. You see, perhaps even those that have the wherewithal, they use some members of the police to harass those that don't have anything. You see members of the police, perhaps even SARS, harassing some of our young boys and young girls. Perhaps they just see them, oh, they are bearded, somehow, or they are having phones. Why should you have 2 or 3 phones? Or worst of it, even a laptop, you're a Yahoo boy, or you're a Yahoo Plus boy. And some officers have also been identified as not having been well schooled, as it were. We still have that, you know, not so much educational qualification in the police force.
I don't disagree with me again. Let me come, please. You know, the entrance into the police force are basic requirement at different levels. That we have the entry requirement for those to be recruited as recruit constable, for those to be recruited as inspector, and for those to be recruited as officer. And at this level, if you don't meet the requirement, you will not be recruited. Even the last recruitment of the 10,000 personnel, their name were pasted in the newspapers for days, for people to come up in their local government of area where they domicile, to be able to identify if there's anybody of suspicious character among them. And this allows us to be able to remove any criminal element or any bad element that will be wanted to them. For the qualification of officers of the force is adequate. For the purpose,
what's the qualification?
When you talk about qualification, if you are going to be an officer, you must have your first degree. You must have your first degree. And not only having first degree, you must meet...
How about members of the rank and file? People like you and the IGP, well-suited policemen. How about the lower cadre?
Even at the lower...
Even if a policeman stops you on the road, we travel, we see things that happen, CSP, and they talk to you very nicely. Hardly will you see a policeman, I'm not saying that they are not among them, but a policeman that will address you very well. Oh, please, can I check your stuff? What do you have in your car? And all of that. It comes as harassment.
No. You see, it depends on what you term harassment. Our policemen are not harassing people. I'm not saying there's no infraction. When I stop you, say, madam, please, can you kindly open your boot for me to check? Everything as a police officer, the training is you cultivate the habit of sir or ma. even if you are going to arrest somebody, even if you are going to take the person to custody, can you do this for me, ma? Then she'll come back and oblige you. But you have a different situation, because when you're on the road, even robbers will locate your position. And that is why it is important that you are always on your guard. And the police officer that are on the guard, and the people that will do the checking, the people that will stop you, will be different from the people that is bearing firearm to protect the personnel while they carry their work and protect.
How about the issues of firearms and guns used to beat people to harass? CSP,
no, we are doing a lot.
You are not economical.
I'm not. Yes, I know.
And the police should be open to criticism.
Yes,
we want a better police force.
We are better police force.
You are indeed not, and the whole police force. The responses have been coming.
Madam Nancy, you know, the bottom line is that we want reform in SARS. And
not just SARS.
No. I'll give you an example with Stamford, because that's why you invite me here. And the reform is taking hold. We want the members of the public to be patient with us. This reform will definitely remove all whatsoever is the grievances and everything, and people will continue to appreciate it. We want people to know that victims, if you have seen victim of robbery, they will tell you a different story, a very, very, very unfortunate story that most of them wish it can be reversed, which cannot be. And that is why, as we speak, SARS is still making so. You know, they are federal SARS now. And this afternoon, I'm going to parade area of suspect, kidnappers, armed robbers that were arrested by SARS. It is in ensuring that the public are safe that we go into preventing crime and arresting offender. But public should what they call it, appreciate that fact with us. And if there are area of lapses, they should report. When they report, it will be handled. So Nigerian police force is not the worst in the world. We are doing our best in UN missions. We are the best. Even presently, Nigerian police is among the only 2 African countries representing Africa on Interpol. Representing African on the management level of Interpol level. If we are not up to date in our duty and responsibility in carrying out core police duty and other responsibility assigned to us in the Constitution and under the we will not find a space there. So, but what we are saying is that environment in Nigeria is a different environment. And that is why the IGP came on board with Eminent Persons Forum. Let people, retired police officers, retired military officers, retired civil servants, retired judges, come in on board to contribute their weight of experience and to be a link.
Let me go to the area of even funding for the police.
Yes.
I've actually also been one of the advocates that we should devote more money to policing in Nigeria. The IGP came out at the time, sometime this year, to say about the 2017 budget, that 36 billion is for police. The IGP says that the police needs about 1.13 trillion naira yearly for its capital and overhead spending, fueling vehicles, 700 billion naira to rehabilitate both police barracks, build new ones, and all of that. When we even see the welfare of the policeman, to me, we can do better than that.
Yes, definitely.
We can do better than that. What do you think that the government should do now? Or would you tell me that the government is also trying in terms of funding and all of that, just like you've been defending the police?
No, you know, the first line is, in respect of this, is to appreciate you for being an advocate and to encourage you to continue to do so, because we want people like you to advocate for us and let them know that this is what we are passing through. And having said that, across the world, any organization at all, funding is always an issue. There's no any organization that will ask you that will say the funding is substantial. But the government, they are doing their best for us, because, you know, from what we had before and what we have now, the present-day government have done a lot for the police force, but we want them to continue to do more. And across the world also, it's not only government that fund the police, private and public organization, individual, public security individual that have come to identify with the police as an agency to create a situation of security, a secure environment for business and other activity to thrive have been coming. And that's why the IGP said a bill is at the National Assembly now, sponsored by House of Rep member Olamide Oni, on the police trust fund bill.
The police reform trust fund
bill. Yeah. There's another bill sponsored by Senator Abu Ibrahim, the Senate Committee Chairman on Police Affairs. Equally, both bills are passed through several readings in the House, and we are very hopeful that if these bills are given expeditious passage and signed into law, it will make funding available. And there's equally the request within the bill that the police should be funded through the first line charge. It's quite not easy. because if you look at from every part of this country, see a police station there. Even where you don't see the face of anybody, you see the face of the police there, ensuring law and order. So we still want more funding, and we are very hopeful that everybody concerned will assist us on this to get more funding for the
Let's just take a few comments. I know we have about 3 minutes to the end of the show, so Director, just allow me. The 3 minutes will be to answer questions from people watching. Tatafo says, please, Nancy, please ask him why the police is investigating the guy that started the NSAS movement. So you, you can just write them down so that you answer. George says, please ask the first PRO to ensure names, numbers, and ranks of the SARS are written boldly for identification by victims of harassment by them, that people should have their names on their vest. Nancy, you are doing a good job there. Thank you. I can see the first PRO grasping for breath to defend what can't be defended. That's what people think. Brimo says, this man is so economical and rewarding police crimes. Okay, which other question? Precious says, tell your guest, the so-called SARS collected 50K because he was holding a laptop. His project was in there, and because of his mom's UK number was there, they won't allow him explain. What else? Shemu says, keep it up, critical questions begging for answers, yet they keep denying. Okay, let me just give you a few minutes to answer that. Then I also want you to add to the area of this bail is not free.
Bail is free.
Bail is free, but that's what police says. But bail is not free. With what I know and with what I've seen,
have you paid for bail before?
I've seen people that pay for bail.
No, you can't rely on
I've seen people that you can't say it happened in my very before, like they say in Nigeria. So bail is free. I need you to emphasize that very quickly. And the area of even police for people like that are robbery victims or what have you. People, Nigerians are even afraid to take people to the hospital or so, because they will say, oh, you need a police report, or the police would like
no. You see, no. Yeah, the issue of taking people to hospital and be asking for police report is gone. In partner with Red Cross, we have created an enlightenment program, even poster. If you go to most of the public hospitals, the poster are there and hospital places across the federation.
Okay, just use the remaining seconds.
When you take somebody to hospital, even if it's a victim of gunshot, treat the person and report to the police. While you are treating the person, report to the police.
Quickly answer
then quickly on the investigation.
Yes,
the NSAS, the police is not investigating the person that is behind the NSAS. What I said was that we are investigating all the allegations and everything raised by the NSAS campaigner and the process of raising those allegations. It's not that we are arresting the saga. No, nobody's arresting saga. I make that abundantly clear. But we are investigating the process. In every country of the world, if there's an issue on the ground, police must investigate. And the judge's rule 1 permits us that even there's a crime committed here in AIT, I can go to Lagos and ask questions from anybody that can provide a lead or a clue to a crime that committed.
About the ones,
then the name tags, and because in the refined SARS, the federal SARS, you are going to see some of them today while I'm parading suspects. The federal SARS will be written at the back boldly. It's being written boldly, not to be written. Then equally here, then their name tags are there. Then numbers are equally there, so that you can pop. But most importantly, if anything happened to you, look at the location where it happens and the time. Is very, very important, so that when you are reporting to us, we can get to the root of it. So people should continue to key into the reform SARS and allow this reorganization of SARS directed by Inspector General of Police to take place.
All right, I want to say many thanks for coming. A lot of people have been commenting, but I'm afraid that's the end of the show. So many thanks. I hope this will not be your last time coming on the show. Or the police
I hope you will invite me the next time.
Again, I'll try. But of course, Nigerians are of the view that the Nigeria police force needs to be reformed. I always see policemen wearing slippers and carrying gun. What is that? Slippers, what they call Dunlop slippers. What is that?
But that is things of the past.
Okay, if I see again, I will snap them and
call me.
All right, many thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's the much we can take as it concerns today's edition of the program. We've been looking at policing as